Welcome to section 1.7. This is the 7th session of the ISACA CISA exam prep series. In this session, we'll cover audit evidence collection. We'll answer several questions. What counts as audit evidence? What makes one piece more reliable than another? Which techniques gather it? And how do you interview and observe well? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because your conclusions are only as good as your evidence. Imagine you claim a backup process works. A manager simply told you it does. Is that strong enough to stand behind? Knowing what makes evidence reliable protects your opinion. It keeps your findings defensible when challenged. So what counts as audit evidence? It's any information you use to judge against the criteria. Your conclusions must rest on sufficient, relevant, competent evidence. What forms can it take? Your own observations shared with management, notes from interviews, results from qualified third-party assessors, material from correspondence and contracts, and the results of your own test procedures. What makes evidence reliable? Some evidence is simply more trustworthy than other evidence. 4 factors decide. First, who provided it? Evidence from outside the organisation is more reliable. That's why confirmation letters verify account balances. Second, how qualified is the provider? Always weigh the knowledge of the person giving it. This even applies to you. If you don't grasp the technical area, your results may be weak. Third, how objective is it? Objective evidence beats evidence needing interpretation. Counting a media inventory is direct and objective. An opinion from a casual chat is not. Fourth, what about timing? Consider how long the information stays available. Data in a live spreadsheet may vanish later, especially if changes aren't controlled or backed up. How do you judge the quality and quantity together? Evidence has 2 dimensions. Appropriate refers to its quality. Sufficient refers to its quantity. For evidence to be competent, it must be reliable and on point. You use judgment to decide when you have enough. One more point on relevance. Some evidence relates to your objectives, other evidence is just peripheral. Keep your attention on what the review set out to achieve. Don't get distracted by the nature of what you gathered. Which techniques gather evidence? Let's walk through the main ones. First, reviewing the organisation structure. A structure with good separation of duties is a key control. You assess the level of control it provides. Second, reviewing policies and procedures. Check that they exist and that people understand them. Confirm management owns and maintains them, and that they're reviewed for relevance over time. Third, reviewing standards. Start by understanding which standards apply internally. Fourth, reviewing documentation. Understand the existing documentation first. If it's electronic, check the controls protecting its integrity. Expect a baseline of documentation to be present, things like design specs, test plans, and change logs, user manuals, continuity plans, and security documents. There are 3 more techniques worth knowing. Fifth, interviewing the right people. We'll dig into that shortly. Sixth, observing processes and performance. Observation is a key technique for many reviews. Stay unobtrusive while you watch. Document everything in enough detail to present later. Sometimes a photograph makes useful evidence, like a server room left with its doors wide open. Seventh, re-performance. This means actually performing the control yourself in real time. It generally gives the strongest evidence. Use it when inquiry and observation aren't enough. And there's the walkthrough, It confirms your understanding of a control. It helps you and the control owner agree on what's assessed. And it points to the evidence you'll need to collect. Remember, an audit is more than review work. It includes examination and the testing of controls. So the results of your tests are evidence too. Let's focus on interviewing. How should you run an interview? Arrange it in advance with clear objectives. Follow a fixed outline and take notes. An interview form or checklist works well. What's the right tone? The goal is to gather evidence, not to accuse. Interviews are discovery by nature. Help people feel comfortable enough to share. Encourage their ideas, concerns, and knowledge. Then verify your notes with the person afterward. Now let's talk about observation. What can watching people reveal? First, the actual functions being performed. You confirm the authorized person is really doing the job. Compare what you see to their access rights. Second, the actual processes and procedures. A walkthrough reveals compliance and any deviations. This is useful for physical controls. Third, security awareness. Watch whether people practice good security habits. Back it up with their training records. Fourth, reporting relationships. Confirm that responsibilities and separation of duties hold. Again, compare against access rights. But watch the drawback of observation. Your presence can change the environment. People who know they're watched may act differently. Pairing observation with interviews helps confirm staff skills. So let's bring it together. Evidence must be sufficient, relevant, and competent. Reliability rests on the source, objectivity, and timing. Appropriate is quality, and sufficient is quantity. You gather it by reviewing, observing, reperforming, and walking through. Interview without accusing, and observe without disrupting. Master this, and your conclusions will always have solid ground. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on RooCloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.